So, who is he and what is he to you?
That is
by Bill Withers.
Bill Withers, man. Yeah.
You know, Bill Withers, I think, is one of the most covered guys in the world. But this song, which is a one-chord wonder, which I love, I think the last person who covered this was Michelle.
Great.
And David Gamson, I think, produced that, did he not?
Yes, he did. Scritti Politti.
Good old buddy of ours.
Old buddy of ours, and one of the most talented producer arrangers I've ever met.
So what's weird about this track for me was, it's got to be a stream of consciousness for Bill, because as phrasing goes, it doesn't make any sense. And I had to sit and learn this thing verbatim, and it really is kind of all over the place. Yeah. The form is just very, very different. But totally. Yeah. So what I did is I had to learn exactly when the verses, the choruses came in, all that kind of stuff. And I think it turned out cool. This groove is cool. Here's what's different about this is that I got to use the cats in the band.
Mario Dawson, man. Woo! Just a killer, snaky, understated approach to the drums with that big fat snare.
Yeah, we sitting hitting things in the wrong spot.
Yeah, no, just kind of broke a little bit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ricky P, my brother, you know, who I've learned so much and try to emulate every time I have to sit down at the keyboard, I'm going, what would Ricky do? So I sit down there, and he got to come in and play. We did this at the place where I'm the program chair for recording and music technology, a college called Minneapolis Media Institute. So we did this in front of the students and the staff, so they were all a part of seeing what this recording process was all about. And Eric was there, Ricky was there, and Ricky played some really different B3 stuff. I think it was you who said make sure he doesn't just play stock R&B stuff. Make him play weirder patches, and I think he did a great job on this. Totally, totally different. And then Mr. Leeds, who comes up with the classic Mr. Leeds parts, and it all lend itself to.
And Eddie Drayton, you know, then like the tag team process. While they were doing that in Minneapolis, we got some files, and I was here doing that marathon day with Eddie Drayton, and we did percussion in here in the big room on this for that. So.
And then I think that you had to send it back to me. You weeded through a lot of what he did, and then you sent it back to me, and then I tried to plug it in. It was a patchwork kind of quilt kind of a thing, but the cool thing is that I've known Oliver for so long. We kind of know how each other works. We can almost predict with 90% certainty what you're gonna like, what I'm gonna like, and that kind of thing. So we didn't waste very much energy, you know, really having to go, you missed on this one. A couple times we did, but on this one, I think as well, this is one that I produced by myself because we put such a deadline on ourselves. We had to divide and conquer.
I didn't have time to do this. I knew that if I was going to get done everything else, that Paul was going to have to do this on his own. And of course, like I said, you know, you're more than capable. You know, you didn't need me to do this, but
I always need you. But it's always good to get a second ear, and he provided that for me. And you know who else? The whole record was mixed by Mark DeSisto, and let's talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
But the kid who mixed this particular song is Brian Snowman Powers, who is heir to the throne of Tom Tucker, who mixed all of the fDeluxe stuff before this, who unfortunately passed away. And he learned and went to school on everything that Tom did, so we gave Brian a shot on this, and he did a lot of the live stuff for the Channel 2 special that we did a couple of years ago. And from the Lorien. I think he did a great job on this. But this next song, we got to talk about Mark DeSisto, man.
Next song?
No, I think what I want to talk a little bit about the vocal arrangement on this.
Classic Paul Peterson. You know, just there's some staples in there. Actually, I just heard it. You kind of heard the staple singers in there. Yeah, which you know, I mean, who hasn't borrowed from them, you know? I mean,
it's
you know,
funky back chord.
Prince. I mean, you could go Prince, his Princey, but it's really staple singers too, you know. And you can hear how he was influenced by some of that, their harmonies and their arrangements.
Jelly Bean.
And Jelly Bean Johnson, the one and only, man.
He's playing a guitar solo on this one, man. We let him rip on this. Man, Bean sounds great on the end of this. I remember it was a cold, cold January night, December night. He came in and just ripped that solo, man, like in 2 takes. It was like, done, thank you very much, Jelly Bean.
You know, the Jelly Bean's also got, you know, these certain guys have a sound and it's in their hands. And it doesn't matter what you plug them into or what guitar you hand, they're going to sound like them. And Jelly Bean's one of those guys, man. I mean, because I've done a bunch of gigs with him now, and we get different amps every gig, and you never know what you're going to get. And man, he just plugs in, and Bean always sounds like Bean.
Sure does.
And that's a good thing.
Signature sound by him too, huh?
Yeah.
Totally. So that's Who Is He and What Is He to You on the new record, AM Static fDeluxe.
On your FM dial.
AM dial, actually.